Hi, I'm George Rogers. And now we come to the heart of what this video series on character-based learning is all about. I consider this to be the most important insight I have gained over the past 25 years of developing curriculum resources. And it has become my mission to share this information with as many people as will listen to me. At this point, I assume you're listening to me. I thank you for that. As you can see, I am closer to the end of my productive years than the beginning. I'm anxious to get this information out to as many people as I possibly can. So I'm asking you, if you find it helpful, if you find it beneficial to you and your family, please share it with others, other teachers, other parents, anyone who works with youth. So now listen up as I share with you my answer to this important insight question number 5. Our insight question for video number 15 is, what on earth is character-based learning? Simply stated, character-based learning occurs when students are learning useful knowledge, acquiring essential virtues, and developing their mental and emotional faculties as part of the same learning experience. As such, each lesson has an educational component tied to core curriculum standards designed to help young people acquire the knowledge and skills necessary to effectively participate in a rapidly changing and increasingly complex world. A personal development component designed to help students develop essential virtues such as responsibility, self-respect, respect for others, and trustworthiness, so they will use their knowledge and skills in ways that will be truly beneficial to themselves and to others. And thirdly, a reasoning component designed to help students develop the emotional and thinking skills necessary to sustain the acquisition and effective use of both knowledge and virtue. The promise of character-based learning is that by treating all three of these dimensions of learning as a unified educational objective, we create a highly synergistic relationship in which personal growth in all three of these areas is significantly enhanced. Each dimension enriches the others, and in a marvelous manifestation of the economy of nature, it can be found that teaching the three together is easier, more efficient, and more effective than teaching them separately or any one of them alone. It is important to recognize that character-based learning is not a curriculum or even a program. It's rather a mindset, a way of thinking about who you're teaching, what you're teaching, and why. Moreover, character-based learning can be used in any existing curriculum in any discipline. The key to understanding character-based learning is recognizing that the natural laws that govern our clockwork universe and provide order and predictability to our daily existence are very similar to, if not the same as, natural laws that govern human interactions. After all, the forces that produce beauty, peace, and tranquility in our physical environment are not unlike the forces that produce the same conditions in human affairs. And the forces that produce chaos and destruction through human conflict are not all that different from the forces that produce similar conditions in the natural world. The remaining videos in this series will demonstrate that concept, but for now, let's just look at a couple of simple examples. The possible learning objectives in a coloring picture exercise would be helping a child develop eye-hand coordination, develop a recognition of patterns, and also an appreciation of color. So if you were to take a coloring picture and make 2 copies for each student, here is a possible character-based lesson you could use. Have your students color one picture using only one crayon. They're only able to use one crayon in coloring that picture. Then have them color the other picture using any combination of colors they wish. Then ask them which picture they liked best and why. Then ask them how crayons are like people. Help them recognize that our differences in people, like crayons, add beauty, variety, and interest to life. Our differences enable us to tell each other apart, just as the colors enable you to tell different parts of the picture apart. And it makes it possible for us to do different things. For example, if all of us were shoemakers, who would feed us? How boring and limiting would it be if there were only one kind of music, or if we all dressed exactly the same, or thought or spoke exactly the same? On the other hand, the ways in which crayons are alike give them a common purpose. You can use them exactly the same way, and you know what you can do with them. Similarly, as human beings, we have likenesses that give us common purpose because we share common needs. Explore with your students some of our common needs and what our likenesses are. Such an exercise will help develop mutual respect and understanding. Now let's see what we can do in taking a simple piece of literature and turning it into a character-based lesson. The story of Snow White is a familiar children's fairy tale. Now when my children were young, I used to simply read them a story like this and leave it there. But I've since come to realize that I missed on a great opportunity that was available to me. There is much of importance to be learned from the story of Snow White. I call it the lesson of the outstretched hands that's illustrated in this optical illusion. Both the old lady's hand and Snow White's hand are outstretched toward each other. Why? Is there significance in that? What is it that each of them want? As you recall, in the story of Snow White is a beautiful queen, but the queen is incredibly vain, and when informed by her magic mirror that her stepdaughter Snow White is more beautiful than she is, the queen becomes insanely jealous and does something remarkable. She turns herself into an ugly old hag. A 5-year-old can tell you that doesn't make any sense, but neither does a lot of other things that people do. What's more remarkable, and makes even less sense, however, is Snow White's susceptibility to the wicked queen's attempts to kill her. We think of Snow White as an innocent victim, but here's a girl that's having trouble learning from experience. She knew the queen was trying to kill her. The dwarfs had warned her to beware of strangers, and still she gave the old lady 3 different opportunities to kill her. First was the lace the old lady wrapped her in so tightly she would have died if the dwarfs had not saved her. Then there was the poisoned comb, and finally the poisoned apple. A simple optical illusion can help young people appreciate why Snow White was so vulnerable to the wicked queen's attempt to kill her. If you take a business card, or a 3x5 card, and place the edge in between Snow White's hand and the queen's hand, place it vertically there, and then with both eyes open, with one eye on each side of the card, move your head down closer to the picture, and you can observe the queen place the apple in Snow White's hand. The fact is, both the queen's and Snow White's behavior were driven by a common illusion. What was that illusion? The answer to this question can be found in asking, what did each of them want? And what reasoning process did each of them use to justify attempting to get what they wanted? Once children understand this, its message becomes relevant to them, perhaps even to ourselves. Most of us don't know wicked queens, and so we don't pay much attention to them. But it's just quite possible, on occasion, we have found reasons to justify doing or getting something we wanted that wasn't good for us. And if you found this video helpful and would like to receive other videos in the series on how to select a homeschool curriculum that's right for you and your child, go to www.homeschoolcurriculumfaq.com. Again, that's homeschoolcurriculumfaq.com. Also, be sure to tell your friends. Thanks for joining in. I look forward to seeing you on video 16.